He's the Hall of Famer, big-time TV star, Good Morning America, and has the Michael Strahan apparel available at Men's Warehouse nationwide. And he's got a new skin and shave line, Michael Strahan Daily Defense, joining us on the program. Mogul, Michael Strahan. Is that your office there at Good Morning America?
No. I'm at home right now, man. I left work. I'm here. This is my home office. But hey, good to see you, man. And that was pretty funny. It'd be more entertaining to watch me watch that game than watch that game. That was pretty good. You might be right.
What is in your office that I would find interesting? First thing I would notice is what?
Books. A lot of books that I've never read that they would put on the shelf. Thick books.
But it looks like you've read those. So those are just for decoration.
And the thing is, see, the one of here is slanted. And then these they're not like all the width. It's like different widths. So it looks like they just randomly put there, like they've been read and put back. These books have dust. Okay.
We had Ross Tucker on. He played in the NFL for a few teams. But Ross said he missed the violence of the game. Like you can't hit anybody anymore. How much do you miss violence?
I called it controlled aggression more than violence. I miss it. Yes, absolutely. I don't miss like randomly just hitting people. I can go to jail for that now. I miss like having a plan and looking at a 300-something pound guy and basically knowing that I am going to continue to beat you down until you submit to what I want. And that is to get to your quarterback or to make a run on that play on the running back. That I do miss. That's the only part. But after I watch a guy get hit one time now, after when I watch a game, I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to do that no more.
Because if you watch a game, and I've said to my audience, if you watch a game from the sidelines, you would never let your kids play football.
Oh, absolutely not.
Just absolutely the sound of it is scary.
I used to do that with friends, though. I used to have friends come to the game, and I was like, you know what? Just stay down here on the field. And I would talk to them on the bench and stuff, and then I go grab my, say, I'll be right back for defense, grab my helmet, run out there, and come back, and their eyes would be like this. Because I pick up the conversation right where it left off. And then you're like, because you don't realize how big and fast and how violent these collisions are until you're right up close. And then I tell my friends too, if they're coming towards you over here, don't stand there and then think, once they get closer, I'll figure it out. No. It's like the objects are a lot closer, but these objects are a lot closer and a lot faster than they appear.
What was your welcome to the NFL moment, good or bad?
Oh, man. Well, there were several. One, we went to play the 49ers my rookie year. I wasn't even playing. I was on the sideline. And I remember there's like Jerry Rice, Steve Young, Ricky Waters, those guys running out of the locker room. And I wanted to get an autograph. I didn't want to play. And then my first time with the Giants, I was with the Giants, and the first time the vets came in for a physical, and Lawrence Taylor came in. And that was the greatest player of all time in my mind, the guy I loved and adored the most. And he walks in. He didn't walk, man. He was on a conveyor belt. He just stood there. And he just slid across the room like the Old Spice man. Like, it was amazing. That was a come to like, okay, I'm a pro. And then watching guys who walked in who were so jacked, so big, playing my position. And I'm thinking, if I got to look like that, I ain't going to last here. I would never look like that. But somehow I did it, man. Somehow.
But you're probably medium sized for the position you play.
Yeah.
Right?
I wasn't too big. But I went through different phases. When I was a rookie, I came in at like 250 something in the combine or whatever. Then they're like, you got to gain weight. Well, back then they didn't tell you like you eat proteins and eat healthy and do this. I'm just eating fast food and pizzas. Like, I gained weight until I was like an engorged tick. I was like 280. Couldn't even move out there. And then they're talking about performance. What performance? Biggest performance you're getting out of me is watching me eat. So I ended up losing weight, getting to 270s for years and 260s for years. Then my last 3 years, I was 247 to 252 every Friday weigh-in, which made, like, I had 3 different careers. And the last part, getting down to that lower weight, it helped me keep up with OC and Justin Tuck and those guys, because at that point I was 33 to 36 years old going through those 3 years. And I gave me a new lease on life. Felt completely different as a player, more mobile, faster, and could just run all day long.
When it comes to assessing these edge rushers now, like who gets into the Hall of Fame?
I hate that, edge rushers. You're a defensive end, man.
I know.
The edge rushing stuff bothers me. Oh, they put him in, he's an edge rusher. No, if you're a football player, you play everything. I love playing the run more than I love rushing the passer. Rushing the passer was just another part of the job that I had to do that I was successful at, but I took pride in doing everything. So I would be insulted if somebody called me an edge rusher. I would be mad.
Because you're one-dimensional?
Yeah. And I just wouldn't, I took more pride in like beating a 300-something pound guy against a run play or defeating a double team on a run play and making a tackle than it was beating a guy one-on-one for a sack. I mean, that was the glory when everybody sees you out in the open and the fans cheer, but it was nothing like a playing the run to me. I just love the physicality of it.
But what's the number now with sacks? Because it used to be like you got to 100 sacks. Now you got everybody's attention. Now you have more opportunities to get sacks because they're throwing the ball more. So what would be, how are we supposed to assess sack leaders or Hall of Fame credentials for defensive players?
Oh man, that's a good one. That's really a good one. I think obviously the numbers don't lie. You still have to look at sacks. I do think you have to look at the era in which the player played also, and what the systems were at that point. Watching Von Miller last night, I'm like, okay, he's the Hall of Famer. The guy's just an incredible player. But I think certain guys will make an impact outside of just their sacks, or just overall, and he is one of those guys. I think a lot of things have to change. I mean, they added more games now. Yeah. I mean, for receiving records, quarterback records, sack records, like everything is kind of changed and evolved. And I don't know how you judge credentials half the time. Did it 200 sacks now? Only person who has that is Bruce Smith. And I also, another one of my favorite players and a good friend who I deem to be insane for playing long enough to get 200 sacks.
Well, who knows how many sacks Deacon Jones really had?
Well, Deacon told me he had 30 or 40-something sacks in one season. I swear to God. Deacon told me he had over 40 sacks in one season. And he was serious as a heart attack. He was not joking.
And that's back when you were throwing 17 to 20 times a game.
Exactly.
You were running the football.
20 times a game. He's out there head slapping everybody.
Do you hold a grudge with anybody in retirement? Are you mad at anybody still?
The crazy thing is I am not. There are a few guys that I'm like, I never really liked you.
Like who?
And who?
Yeah.
I mean, probably the one guy who sticks out in my mind is I think John Jansen. Played for the Redskins. Off of the tackle. Yeah. I never cared for him. For some reason, just something about him that bugged me. Other than that, like John Runyon was a big nemesis, but I always respected John, and he made me better. Eric Williams with the Cowboys was the meanest guy I ever played against, but he made me better.
What do you mean mean?
For that.
How isn't everybody mean?
No, not like Eric Williams. There's a different type of mean. There's mean, and then there's terrifying. And it's funny because Michael Irvin said to me, every time we used to play you guys, I'd be like, yo, big fella, don't be scared. You better be ready. You got Strahan, because he was like, Eric would be like nervous. And I was like, I wish I knew that, because I was scared as hell too. But mean Dan is like, all right, they throw the ball down the field. I'm a lineman. They throw the ball 30 yards. What do you naturally do? You turn and you look. At that point, I'm a spectator. What does he do? Clubs you in the back of the head. Punches you in the back. Like, come on, man. Come on. Have you ever seen Reggie? You remember Reggie White with the preacher, of course. Who's the only player consistently, every time they play, Reggie White won a fight? Eric Williams. Ooh. You got the preacher wanting to fight. What do you mean, man? You mean it?
I think God was on Reggie's side.
Yeah. Well, Eric had the devil on his, man, because he was he was something else, man.
He's the Hall of Famer, Michael Strahan, NFL on Fox, and of course, Good Morning America co-host. What was harder, though, playing football or being a TV host on a show, GMA, that's, not sports related?
Well, I think, totally different. But of course, football is harder in every sense of the word when you have to physically get out there and bang your body around, and not even the games.
Yeah, but you grew up getting ready for that. You don't grow up getting ready to co-host GMA.
I played 1 year high school football, so I'm kind of late to the game. So for me, it was I was always interested in it. I always loved it. I didn't know any better. But the physical part of it was tough. Mentally, it was tough on training camp days when you have two-a-days and you got to put those pads twice a day and run into the same teammate, and you get into the pad, you get to the equipment room in the morning and you put on those pads and they're still wet from the sweat from the day before, and it's cold, and you're like, I got to stretch on this ground with dew on it and get my pants wet. Like, I so many days I quit in my mind. But GMA is tough in a sense because it challenges me to be more engaged with the world. I got to know everything that's going on in news in the world, but it's been fantastic because it has made me become a more well-rounded person, I feel, and human being, and understanding more about how the world works and what goes on in the world. And it's interesting. And I go into GMA with the same kind of amusement and awe as I went into a game. And as a football player, like I walk in, first of all, I can't believe I'm there. And secondly, I'm always curious, as I was in sports. So it's a perfect fit for what I've done in the past and what I'm doing now in the present.
And then, you're branching out. You're a mogul. You got the Michael Strahan apparel line, now new skin products here that available at CVS stores. So it's all working out.
Yeah, you know the name of it? Michael Strahan. Daily Defense.
Ooh,
creative.
Wow, man.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
I reached for that one.
That's
reached really
great.
deep. But you know what it is? Honestly, it's we had the clothing brand and which is organic to my life and what I do, and suits every day, and then casual athleisure when I'm not, or work leisure, if you want to call it that. And then the skincare, because every day the grit and grime of being on TV or just running around every day, and men don't have a routine. Men are very much set in the belief that skincare is something mostly that women do, or you just grab somebody else's products, put them on, and hide whatever you have in the shelves. But that's not what we develop. We develop something that I use every day, organic to me. And it has a lot of properties like activated silk that you only find in like Chanel products, very high-end products. And it is a nice little routine that we have for men that takes about the same time it takes to brush your teeth to give you good skin. Because as we know, you dress good, you feel confident. If you got great skin, that's even more confident.
Would you do
well-rounded man?
Cosmetic surgery? Would you do Botox?
Oh, I don't need it, buddy. Look at me. That's 50-year-old skin right there. Black, don't crack, bud.
I know. Good black doesn't crack. Yeah, you're right.
No, you know what? Would I do Botox? I never thought about it. I kind of like wrinkles in my forehead if I got them. It's kind of I want you to see my expression. Yeah.
Are you mistaken for somebody?
Yeah. Like I've been mistaken for so many people.
Like who?
I remember being at Madison Square Garden one time at a basketball game, and some guy walks all the way down from up top and goes, "Hey, Riddick Bowe." I'm like, what? Riddick Bowe? I should knock you out for calling me him and have you sue Riddick Bowe thinking I was him. Like, I've been called Riddick Bowe. Of course, I get the Mike Tyson because the list and the gap in my teeth and everything else.
Wait, you would tower over. You would be Lennox Lewis to Mike Tyson.
Thank you, but people don't, I guess they figure, well, they all look short on TV or the same height on TV. I don't know. But yeah, I've been called Mike Tyson, Riddick Bowe. I've been called in front of my Fox guys. We were filming some promo in California, and some guy like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Yeah, he knows me."
Yeah.
And I'm with Howie and Jimmy and Terry, and the guy goes, "Michael," and I'm like, "Hey," he didn't say nothing to none of you guys. And then the guy runs up to us afterwards, and he's like, "Hey, man, I just want you to know that I was adopted too by a white family, And I appreciate you telling your story. I'm like, I'm not Michael Orr.
The Blind Side.
And then all the guys, when I tell you, I was like, not in front of them, kid, not in front of them.
Yeah. My job is to get to the guy that Michael Orr is trying to block.
Exactly. But I'm glad you were inspired by The Blind Side, man. And good luck to you. But I am not him. I just said thank you. I didn't even tell him it wasn't me. I just said thank you. I appreciate it, man. And good luck.
Yeah, but you know what? You can't top this. I had somebody come up and say, man, I listen to you every morning on SportsCenter, and I love when you say booyah. They thought I was Stuart Scott.
Scott?
Yeah.
They thought you were Stuart. What did they have obviously they need a new TV.
But
pixelation is horrible.
I signed the autograph. I'm thinking, all right, people still think I'm on SportsCenter. They'll go, I watch you on SportsCenter every morning, and I go, all right, haven't been there in 16 years.
The thing is, but it's a testament to how what you did there was
absolutely.
So memorable,
absolutely,
that people can't even get it out of their mind. And your voice is iconic.
Yeah, very lucky.
And so and that's why you've had the career, man. But I look at it like this: when at some point, no one's going to care, no one's going to even bother, you can walk into a room, nobody even.
Yeah.
And so I always try to make sure that I tell myself, you are not what you do. So don't get so twisted to think that if you're not recognized for your job, that it means you have no value. Because at some point, you probably won't be. And that's when it becomes dangerous. So for me, I just try to keep that in mind, because at one point, all of this stuff ends and goes away. And, what do you have left in that outside of just enjoying your life and your family? So that's what I'm trying to hang on to.
Yeah, you got your daughters when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I got those twins, teenagers, high school, seniors, boyfriends, volleyball, all this stuff.
As Barkley said, if you kill the first guy who comes over, word will get around, then you don't have to worry about the next guy coming over to date your daughters.
Well, Howie gave me a great one that a friend of his said to one of the boys. He said, "I just want you to know, I'll do the time."
That's great. I can just see Howie, very, hey, I'm willing to do the time.
I'm willing to do the time, so go ahead, try it.
Hey, I know you're busy. Always great to spend some time with you, Michael. Thanks for joining us.
Hey.
Good luck.
All right, we got to do this more often, man. Miss you.
Thank you,
Good to
man.
see you.
Michael Strahan.
Right,
Michael Strahan Apparel, available at Men's Warehouse, and the new Skin and Shave line, Michael Strahan Daily Defense, available at CVS. Take a break. Back after this.